Hello students. In our last video we have explained the features and equilibrium of monopolistic competition. In this video we are going to analyze the special feature of monopolistic competition, product differentiation. We know that products produced under monopolistic competition is not identical or homogeneous. Product differentiation means the production of different varieties of products by different firms. For example, different varieties of soap, toothpaste, television, refrigerators, motor car, air conditioners, etc. are available in the market. These are differentiated products. Differences in characteristics is the normal reason for having preference towards a product. Therefore, producers want to separate their product from other similar products produced by other firms. The process of product differentiation is normally done to make a product special or make a product different from other similar products. These differences may be real or artificial, or we can divide the differences into two: real or genuine differences or artificial or imaginary differences. Initially, we are looking into the real or genuine differences. These are the differences based on quality of raw material. That means the raw material used for production, quality of raw material used for production, then better machinery used for production or better machinery within the equipment, then a skill of labor, that means specially skilled laborers used for the process of production, additional service facility or additional warranty or guarantee, like that. All these provides a superiority to certain products. As a result of these factors, the quality of a product produced by one firm may be genuinely superior to that of the product varieties of other firms. In such a situation, the differences are genuine because the producers are separating their product on the basis of its quality of production process, and therefore they are making genuine differences. Now we are moving to the artificial or imaginary differences. These differences include the differences in color, taste, size, smell of the product, etc. If the differences are not genuine, but these are artificial differences based on color, size, smell, taste, etc. Another category is branding or trademark. If the differences are based on branding or special brand or trademark, it is an artificial difference. Similarly, packing style and advertisement also can be used to differentiate a product from other similar products. All these comes under the category of artificial or imaginary differences. Here we know that the purpose of this product differentiation is to attract more customers. Each firm want to separate their product from other products. Each firm want to produce an identical product. Therefore, in the process of pricing as well, there are differences. Different producers are charging different prices for their products, even though the products are closely substitutable. Now we are going to analyze the effect of product differentiation on demand and cost curves. As the first, we are analyzing product differentiation and demand curve. We know that under the conditions of perfect competition, the demand curve faced by a firm is horizontal straight line or perfectly elastic. Here we are having an AR curve which is equal to the demand curve or MR curve, like this, which is parallel to x-axis because of the homogeneity of products. But under monopolistic competition, the shape of this demand curve is not like this. The normal shape of demand curve or AR curve under imperfect competition is downward sloping. This is the AR curve or demand curve. According to Chamberlain, the demand for a product is determined not only by the price policy of the firm alone, but also by the factors such as style of the product, service associated with the product, nature of the product, selling activities of the firm, etc. In other words, if style of a product changes, there may be increased or change in demand. If there are changes in selling strategy, it will influence demand. If there are changes in service pattern, that influence demand. Here under monopolistic competition, the producers know that there are other products also available with the same quality, with the same features. Similarly, customers also identifies that there are closely substitutable products available. Here, if a firm is producing a product identical to other products, or if the product is becoming more and more similar to other products, the demand curve faced by the firm will be more flatter. That is, the demand curve will be AR1 or D1. This will be the nature of demand curve. But that means the demand curve will become more flatter or more elastic if a producer is producing more identical product or more similar products. That is, if a producer is producing identical or similar products which is already available, his demand curve will be more flatter. It means that there is lesser degree of product differentiation. If lesser degree of product differentiation, the product will be similar to other products and automatically the firm will be facing more elastic demand curve. In the same manner, if the producer is adopting more and more methods to differentiate their product, then the demand curve will be steeper. That means AR2 will be more steeper than AR curve. Here, a producer want to produce identical products, a product which is entirely different from other products. In such a case, degree of product differentiation increases. That means there is strong product differentiation. If there is strong product differentiation, the demand curve will become less elastic, and if there is less product differentiation, the demand curve will become more elastic. Now let us consider what happens if price changes when there is product differentiation and no product differentiation. Here we have plotted two demand curves, demand curve D1 and demand curve D. The initial demand curve without product differentiation is D1. When price of the commodity is OP, quantity demanded of the commodity is OQ. This is the initial condition. Now the firm is imposing or introducing a price reduction. Price is reduced to OP0. The quantity demanded increases to OQ1. This is the normal course. But when firm introduces more and more sales campaign methods, more and more methods to attract new customers, more and more product differentiation tools, then the demand for the product can be extended to Q2. That means more products are available, the firm will be facing more elastic demand curve. When there is product differentiation adopted by different firms in the market, there will be variety of products available. Automatically, when a firm introduces product differentiation, more customers will be attracted to that particular firm and their demand curve will become more elastic. Now we are moving to product differentiation and cost curves. Chamberlain maintained that the shape of cost curves under monopolistic competition may be the same as in the traditional theory. We know that in traditional theory, cost curves are U-shaped. And in case of monopolistic competition also, we are having U-shaped cost curves. This is the normal average cost curve or average production cost. Now we are plotting average selling cost. This is the shape of average selling cost. When output increases, selling cost also increases. Automatically average selling cost is also having a U-shaped curve. In order to get average total cost curve, we need to add these two and we will be getting average total cost like this. Average total cost is the sum of average production cost plus average selling cost. One important thing to be noted here is that suppose a firm is adopting certain advertisement strategy or certain methods of product differentiation, the other firms also will have to do some strategies for sales promotion. Otherwise, their demand will go down. Suppose if there are different firms like A, B, C, D, etc. Suppose if firm A is going to adopt a selling strategy by product differentiation or by advertisement, the other firms such as firm B, firm C, firm D, etc. also will have to do the same strategy. Otherwise, the customers of B, C, and D will be attracted to A. If A is adopting a particular strategy, B, C, D also will have to follow some other strategies to retain their customers. If they are not following certain selling strategy, the customers of B, C, and D will be shifted to producer A. Therefore, if a firm is incurring selling cost, the other firms also will have to incur selling cost. In the next video, we will be explaining the effect of selling cost on revenue and profit.